What's going on? So I'm here with a little something different. It's not the actual podcast itself, but I do have a story that I want to tell. It's something that to this day, something that kind of it doesn't bother me, but it's something that I experienced that was like crazy. And I usually don't really speak on paranormal experiences because some people don't believe in like ghosts or spirits and things like that. But this specific um, thing that happened to me and my younger brother was like crazy. You know, it was one of the wildest things. So my little brother, I stay in Arlington. I stayed in Arlington when I first moved to Texas from Chicago, and I was like maybe about 10 minutes from the Cowboy Stadium. Um, so my little brother came down here to help me move. And when he came to help me move, it's first of all, it's always lit when I'm with my little brother. We always, have a good time with each other. So when he came, the big kid comes out of me when my little brother's around. And this time, I think it was like 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. And we found a fire extinguisher, like a little small fire extinguisher up under my kitchen sink. And so everything in my apartment was like packed up already. Half of the stuff was in the U-Haul. The U-Haul was outside. My mom came in town. My aunt came in town, I guess, to help us move. And my mom was like I think it was in like a hotel or something. And then my aunt was at my sister's place. So it's just me and my little brother. So we find a fire extinguisher up under the sink. And we decide to go outside at 2 o'clock in the morning and spray the fire extinguisher. Yes, we sprayed the fire extinguisher at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I know like that shit was loud. I mean extremely loud about 3 a.m. So I sprayed it first. And then after a while, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, here, you take it. I got to go in the house and pack some more stuff up. So he's still out there spraying it. And at the time while he was spraying the fire extinguisher on the balcony, the light is on my balcony. So when the light is on my balcony, it lights up like the back, like the behind the backyard, I guess, of my apartments. And on my balcony, I stayed on the second floor. So while I was on the second floor, you could see like the window, like the second floor bedroom to the apartments that was behind me. You could see the second floor bedroom window, the first floor bedroom window that was like at the bottom, and then you could see the third floor bedroom window. But when I turn the light on, it kind of like illuminates everything. So it's like I can see directly into these windows. But, of course, people will have like blinds or curtains and stuff like that. So my little brother was out there spraying a fire extinguisher. Then all of a sudden he stopped. Like he was like, I'm done. I'm done. I was like, what happened? He was like, oh, it's a lady outside in the window and she's staring at me. I'm like, no, nobody's staring at you in the window. Like that's, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's up right now? So he was like, no, it's a lady staring at me in the window. So mind you, my light is still on my balcony, so I can see clear as day. So I come over to the balcony and I like, open it up and I look and I'm like, oh, it's a lady staring at you. She's staring at us now. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. So I started, start to be all like, jackasses, start giving her the finger and putting my finger in my nose and making faces at her because it kind of like freaked me out a little bit. But again, I'm the big brother. I can't really show that the shit kind of freaked me out a little bit because, I don't want him to freak out himself. So she was staring directly at us. I think she had like gray hair. She had gray hair. I want to say she wasn't like pale, but you could tell like she didn't look like she just woke up. She was already awake, She didn't look like we woke up or anything, but she did look pissed off. So I could see like from the top of her head to her waist, like this lady's like in the window, looking right at us. And so I'm like, all right, bro. After I made all the faces that I made, I'm like, all right, bro, go ahead and just, go ahead and close the blinds. And at the time, my kids, they were little. My youngest, my oldest, he was little at the time. And when he would crawl around, he would like knock the blinds. He would knock the blinds down, so my blinds were snagger-tooth, like so you could see directly into my living room throughout my apartment. So if you're in one of those rooms in the back behind my building, and say my TV is on or anything because it's facing the balcony, you can see directly through the slits in my apartment. So I'm like, all right, that's the craziest thing. So let's just go ahead and close the blinds, turn the light off on the balcony. So I do that, and so I'm on the phone. I think I'm on the phone with the mother of my kids. It's about maybe about 30 minutes later, and she's like, "Hey, you guys should see if that lady's still looking at y'all from her apartment, at her window." I was like, "Why would she still be in the window?" So I go over to the balcony to look. This lady's still in the window. I'm like, okay, that's fucking odd. So I'm like, okay, just don't go over there no more. Ignore her. She'll get out the window. We probably pissed off. So I go sit back down on the futon, and my little brother sitting next to me. So I guess he decides to get up and go look off the balcony again. And this time when he looked off the balcony, he froze. And I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? He stopped and he just started to cry. He started crying so fucking hard. I've never seen somebody cry so hard in my life. Mind you, my little brother, I think he had to be probably about 14 at the time, maybe 14, 15. Nigga had to be about 5'11", wear like a size 12. So I'm like, you a tall dude and you out here, he crying like hysterically, like I mean crying, boo-hoo crying. His face is turning red, his nose is red. I can't take this shit. I'm leaving. Fuck this. Hell no. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what's wrong, bro? But like when I tell you, like he's hysterical, it's like imagine a cousin or say, mind your big brother, your dad, your mom's come to you and they like flipping they shit like they just seen something. Like something that made them fear for their life. Mind you, he's in town from Chicago. This nigga grabbed all his shit. When I tell you he grabbed all his shit, this nigga grabbed his shoes. He had his Timberlands. He had his other shoes. That nigga took his backpack. He packed his game up, grabbed his toothbrush and everything. I'm like, yo, I'm standing there like, yo, something really just fucked this man up. Like, so I go into big brother mode. Bro, what the fuck you see? Calm down, chill out, bro. What did you just see? You know what I'm saying? I get him out the apartment. Once I get him out the apartment, I get him in the U-Haul. He's like, I seen a lady in the window, but her mouth opened up real wide and her face came on the outside of the window, and her face came towards me with her mouth open like she was trying to eat me. That's a little bit much for any human to take in. Like, did you just say that this lady, like this white lady in the window, opened her mouth up as wide as your head, came on the outside and tried to eat your face? So she went from her apartment to my balcony trying to like eat your face? He like, yeah, but I'm still having in mind like this man he's fucking crying, he's snotting, he's deeply in tears, and then on top of that, he's cursing. Like my little brother never cursed at me and never cursed at me or to me about someone else, any of that. So we in the U-Haul, and I'm like, fuck this, like, come on. I start to drive the U-Haul. He like, where you going? I'm like, we about to go knock on their door and tell them stop fucking with us. He loses his shit. Man, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you, man? That shit don't make no fucking sense, man. That's stupid. Why the fuck would you do that? Like, and I'm sitting there, and like the mother of my kids on the phone, she like, yo, is that Terrio? I'm like, yeah. She like, why he going off like that? I say, something just scared the shit out of him. So I get off the phone with her. I was like, yo, let me call my aunt. I get off the phone with her. I call my aunt. My aunt's like, go see what it is. I'm like, hang up on her because I'm not about to do that. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not about to go see what the fuck what he seen, okay? Because if I see what the fuck he just seen, we got to go. We got to go. We can't stay here no more. Fuck everything that's in here. Fuck this futon. I don't care if I got clothes in that other room. We're gone. I'm not staying here. It's over with. So I didn't want to be scared. Call me what you want to call me. But I had to be the big brother. So I can't freak out. And if he see me freaking out, he gonna flip his shit. So I'm like, get off the phone with my aunt. She not helping. Let me call my mom. I call my mom. And I'm like, hey, your son crying. You know, something just scared the shit out of him. I don't know what you want me to do. He's still sitting here crying. She telling me, oh, he crying, huh? I'm like, yeah, he crying. Something scared. So, oh, something scared him, huh? Yeah, mom, something scared him. Well, good. Maybe he'll get his grades up. You worried about this nigga grades? It's July. And you still talking about this nigga grades. This nigga just had a near-death experience. His soul just left this body. He's crying. He's scared out of his damn mind right now. And you talking about maybe he'll get his grades up. Cool. Get off the phone with moms. She not helping me at all. The shit was funny though, but she not helping. So I decided, I'm like, you know what? Bro, what we gonna do is, I'm about to go ahead. We gonna go in here. And at this time, he's still crying. So I had to like get tough with him. Bro, stop all that punk ass crying, that old bitch ass crying you doing, bro, and all that crying shit, man. Stop that shit. But in the back of my head, I'm like, man, that shit. You know, my hair's standing up on my arms and shit. I'm like, the fuck is going on? So I say, come on, bro. He said, all right, I'll go wherever you go. I'm like, all right. So we go back up to the apartment. I tell him, look, stay right here. Stay right here. And I'm going to go inside. I'm going to look off this balcony. If I don't see shit there, I need you to come back in here, cut all that bullshit ass crying out so we can finish moving this shit in the morning. So let's go ahead in here and go to sleep. He like, all right, bro. So I told him, stand right there. He stood there, and I went inside the apartment. I closed the door, and I stood behind the door, and I counted to 10. You can judge me, but I literally stood behind the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because one thing I'm not about to do is look off that fucking balcony, because again, I don't want to see shit that he just seen. I'm not trying to see anything that this brother just seen at all, because I'm not trying to lose my shit either, and I'm not trying to be scarred for the rest of my life, which is kind of what's going on right now, because he still don't like to talk about this shit. So I go in there, I do my little finger counting, you know, 1, 2, 3. I do that real quick, and after I do that, I'm like, calm myself down. I open the door up. Man, bro, bring your bitch ass in here, man. All that crying ass shit, man. Bring your ass in here, man. Ain't nothing in here. Ain't nothing off that balcony, man. What you talking about? So he goes look off the balcony, and I don't know if he's seen anything, he just was like afraid of seeing the same thing, and he starts to do the, I say, boy, shut that shit up. So I go ahead, I lay on the futon. Like, let's just go to sleep. I lay on the futon. I got the TV on. This man is so afraid, he lays under the futon. Mind you, I am tall. I got meat on my bones, bro, and it's a futon. You know the futon is about this much space up under a futon. This nigga was laying up on the futon like this. Like, because he was that fucking scared. I'm like, man, okay. So he laying on the futon. I'm laying on the futon. And I'm like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. So as I'm laying there, I'm like, see my blinds moving. And I'm like, my blinds moving. I'm like, I'm wondering if this motherfucker's still in the window. But as I'm thinking about if this lady's in the window, I end up dozing off. I doze off. I wake up to a knock on my door. It's my mom's. Why ain't nobody answering the phone? Ain't nobody answering the phone. Why you didn't answer your phone? Why is it so cold in here? It's freezing in here. I look at the thermostat. It said like 75 degrees, 77 degrees. I'm like, but it's way colder than that in here. So I'm like, all right, I go on the balcony. I say, okay, I'm about to go look off this balcony and see, look directly in this window. So I had a little joint or something I think I had rolled up that morning, but I go on the balcony to smoke my joint before we start moving stuff. And as I lit the joint, I look in that window, and the window was barricaded. It had to have it was a dresser in front of it. It was a bed rails, to a bunk bed in front of it. And it was a bunch of books and a bunch of things just shoved up to the window. And I'm like, And it gave me chills because I know for sure I did not see what my little brother seen. I didn't see no monster, a face trying to eat me, no crazy shit like that. But one thing I did see, and I swear to this day, I know I seen it clear as day because my balcony light was on. I seen that lady in that window. From the top of her head to her waist, her hair, her shoulders, what she had on, what type of nightgown she had on and all of that. I seen that lady. So my thing is, How was anybody in that window and it was barricaded? But that day, that morning that I seen that, we was moving out. We was moving out. And man, the crazy thing is that I had went into my bathroom. And when I went into my bathroom, I came out my bathroom and I seen something on my wall that was like over my bed. And I figured that, I was there for about 2 years. I figured that whatever was on my wall, it was coming from up underneath my wall. So instead of like removing it or whatever the case may have been, I'm thinking that some images is coming from up under the paint on my wall. So I pull my auntie to the side. I'm like, come here, auntie. Look at that. What you see? She turned her head to the side and then she walks up to like above the head of my bed, or where the head of my bed was. And she was like, I see eyes. She was like, I literally see eyes. I was like, you sure? She was like, yeah. And she walked over to it and she was like, look, one eye, a nose. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Because then I did see, but not only did I see the eyes and the nose, but I seen other little symbols raising up from the paint on the wall. So I was like, I was glad we was moving out, because that right there was one of the few paranormal experiences that really shook my spirit a little bit. Like really, really shook me a little bit. But like I said, to this day, my little brother still don't want to talk about it. So, but that's my story, and I got plenty more. Trust me, I got plenty more stories, not just paranormal stories, but man, my life is I've experienced a lot. But man, thanks for joining me. And I definitely have another story soon.